We wanted you to be Zionists.
A sermon should go viral. It should go viral about good news, about the news that God loves all people, not about Palestinians being traumatized by a genocide, by the silence of the church, and in our struggle to keep our faith alive in the midst of a very difficult genocide. Yet I was grateful that these words reached unprecedented level of attention all over the world.
To all of our young people, and I say this not only to you who are present, but anybody who might watch this at some point, I'll speak with you as bluntly as I speak with your parents. Consider it a gesture and a sign of my respect and affection for you. It's what I owe you.
So many similarities between what we call Christian Zionism and between apartheid theology. Both are based on an ideology of supremacy. Both use the Bible to justify colonialism. And both use the Bible to justify violence. And that idea is very strange to me as a Christian. I think of Jesus as the most peaceful person who definitely did speak about God's judgment, God's justice, but taught us always to turn the other cheek and challenge our oppressor, even to see the humanity, even God's image in our oppressor. So sadly, there are many similarities, and part of our role as people of faith is to dismantle these ideologies and theologies that, rather than promoting the good news that God is for all, they promote this idea of a tribal God.
As your teachers, educators, rabbis, and moral guides, know that we tried to instill in you a sense of justice, righteousness, virtue, honor, rectitude, honesty, and decency for all people. We are proud when your generation is active in the pursuance of these values. And if these ideals lead you to be critics of Israeli policies or the American Jewish community, so be it.
I actually have a big problem with the characterization of the situation using religious polemics. It's not a religious conflict. We always emphasize that. Our problem as Palestinians is not with Jews. Our problem is with Zionism and colonialism. And when Israel was established by the Zionist movement, they did so on the expense of all Palestinians, regardless whether they were Muslims or Christians. Many Palestinian Christians lost their homes, lost their lands, became refugees. They're still in diaspora all over the world, denied the right to return. So it is not as if there are Jews and Muslims caught in the land and have been fighting, and then Christians are caught in between. This is definitely not just the wrong characterization, but it's misleading, and it turns away from the real essence of the problem, which is the colonization of our land by the Zionist movement. And at the same time, I would emphasize it's not a conflict. Many people look at it as a religious conflict. I always say it's not religious and it's not a conflict. A conflict gives the impression that there are two equal entities in the land fighting. But in reality, there are the indigenous Palestinians who are just fighting for their rights, for our ability to continue to exist in our land, the land of our ancestors, versus the colonizers, the state of Israel, which continues to push us out of our land using different measures and means, and most recently this genocide in Gaza.
What we did not intend is for your generation to turn your backs on our people. We wanted you to be Zionists. We did not intend that our emphasis on tikkun olam, social repair, would lead some Jews to join anti-Israel demonstrations. We did not intend for Jews to lead Passover Seders in so-called liberated zones, liberated from Zionists.
It's more of a faith concept or a theological concept, if you want, a biblical one, in which we realize that it is God's land. It's not ours. No one can claim possession of the land. No people group can claim exclusive possession. And there should be, we should be equal, have equal rights in this land, regardless of our nationality, ethnicity. This is, in my opinion, our mandate as faith leaders, to promote such a vision. How does that translate into political solution? Sadly, politicians have failed us, but I will continue to argue that the best way forward is for us to share the land and for Palestinians and Israelis to live as neighbors. We have to accept that neither of us is going anywhere.